Welcome to another episode of These Are the Aesthetics. I go by the name of Cheech, a.k.a. the ladies' favorite broadcaster, a.k.a. Mr. Consistency, a.k.a. stay out of my business.
I go by the name of Gary, a.k.a. In Gary We Trust, a.k.a. Mr. Sneaker Convo, a.k.a. the one that stop asking your homie for the discount, pay the full price.
You throwing shade. a.k.a. stay out of my closet, right? By the way, let me just let you guys know what happened today, right? So, I thought I was going to my best friend's house to hang out. Made me wait outside for like 20 minutes. Did not open the door. Left me out there like a thought.
Off the lies.
By the time I did get in the house, they'd even offer me some water. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not used to this kind of treatment.
I'm not work, by the way.
Well, allegedly, you work from home, so is it really work? Okay.
That's hate.
So yeah, man. He offered me a plate of food. Thankfully, it was some good food, so I ate. The whole time we didn't talk. We didn't chop it up. I kind of felt left out, lonely. So, I started just perusing around the house.
Spell perusing.
See, you tried to distract me because you know you're wrong. So, yeah, I ended up checking out his closet. Gary hasn't shopped in a while. So I'm like, you know what? Let me help my guy. Let me style him today. As you can see, I'm like, you know what? Let me try to help him.
Wait.
Let me help him find an outfit.
You can lie anywhere you want. Don't ever lie about you style me.
I didn't style you today? All right, anyway, it's my story. I'm telling the story.
No, you're right.
Let me finish it, and you can intervene.
A fictional story. Got you.
All right. So, yeah, I went through his closet. I was like, yeah, Gary, this is 2004. Throw that out. Gary, nah, we don't wear that no more. It's not 2016. And then he had a separate section in his closet that he said, you know what, these are things that I want to sell or give away, whatever. I'm saving up for a wedding. Whatever. I was like, all right, whatever.
So
you know what? I'm going to help a friend out. So I start picking out items. And he's like, oh, no, not this one. Not this one. Things he can't even fit no more. Because, he's doing his anorexic thing right now. So, all right. So I said, fine. So I finally picked out a few items. Gary wrestled me before I left the house. Snatching the T-shirts, pushing me on the floor. Hey, we almost got into a big fight. And then ultimately I think it ended up he wanted to sell me 2 T-shirts for $350. You paint whatever picture you got in your head. There's somebody. I'm supposed to be his best man.
Can I pause this? I think the audience knows how I dress by now. I don't wear bullshit. I never wore a gas station tee on this set, by the way.
Okay, I'm just saying. I was just trying to help you out. It's fine. I mean, that's what I'm here for. You appointed me as your best man. We've been friends for a while.
I'm getting a lot of flack for that, by the way, by the supporting parties.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, should have went to Elliot. I don't know why people be hating. But yeah, did he call his girlfriend? By the way, I realized today, fiance. Oh, I'm sorry. It's no longer a girlfriend. Shout out to Gaia. He called his fiance. Lied. Said, oh, Cheech got half of my closet out here. And I realized he blamed a lot of shit in the friendship on me. But you know what? As the real nigga that I am, I took it. I took it on the chin. I took all the lies because I know he's the one that has to get married. I don't want to ruin his special day. So whatever lies he's been telling his family and his fiance, I just took it. I co-signed it. But yeah, I just felt, some type of way. Like today almost was the last episode, because of the treatment that I received earlier. Yeah, I almost chose not to show up.
Can I ask one question?
Yes, you can ask one
question. At what age should you stop borrowing people's clothes?
Borrowing?
No, I didn't say it was targeted to you.
I just want to know.
I just want to know, when do you think is the age to stop, borrowing or asking for clothes?
Define borrowing.
Like, you're going to wear it probably on a podcast episode, and you say, I'm going to give it back, but you never do get it back, which has happened.
I don't know. I've never done that, so I don't know what you're talking about. But the fact that you didn't refute any part of the story, says a lot.
It was all cap. It was a nice fictional story.
It was not fictional story. But anyway, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Because I already know I saw you earlier. Based on how you treat me, you got a lot of dip on your chip. But How you feeling?
I'm feeling okay, man. I just didn't appreciate like my house getting broken into.
Oh my God!
People coming in uninvited.
By the way, you have to go through a gated. You know what? All right, go ahead.
I ain't calling nobody in. I just see. Oh, are we recording from my house today?
Okay.
But anyway, I'm doing okay. You know, wedding planning, everything. I think my health is okay for the most part. But I can't really complain too much. I could always complain, but at the end of the day, who listens?
Okay, I have a question. Don't take this as hate, right? Before I continue the show.
We have to start eventually.
How long are you gonna go with this lie?
What lie?
You planning a wedding? Because it started to become an excuse. And I'll let you get your shit off. I can't show up today. I got a wedding to plan. Oh, I can't go out with y'all. I got a wedding to plan. Oh, I can't shop. Oh boy, I can't go visit the new Supreme store in Miami. I got a wedding to plan. You just been using that line. You know, a wedding. Okay, find a venue, hire somebody to get the flowers and show up. But okay, you got a wedding to plan.
Are you okay though? I see that I see there's like a little like Band-Aid on you. Everything all right at home?
Yeah, you fucked me up earlier at your house. So that people can see.
All right. The only thing I'm gonna say about this is that imagine you go into someone's closet, like ladies. Imagine that you have a Birkin bag in your closet, right?
A Birkin bag is crazy.
Imagine you have a Birkin bag.
Vintage tea compared to a Birkin bag is crazy.
And then you have this hating ass girlfriend come into your house and say, you know what, bitch, I'll give you a solid $200 for a Birkin bag that costs well over $50,000.
How long y'all been friends? But anyway, honestly, this was a more serious note. This is I don't know. I think I scraped myself on something. It's one of those things like I didn't know it was there, and then until I started bleeding, I guess I don't know because of the friction or whatever, and then yeah.
I heard you Scorpios like it rough.
No. Hey you, and no man, I'm not. I'm currently celibate. Actually, I'm single. You know, relearning me. You know, going through my journey again, and yeah, if God wants me to have something, you know, he'll send it to my door. But yeah, I'm chilling. But I'm good, man. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm an 8. 2 weeks ago, I was not doing the greatest, but I'm good now. I'm excited for today. Based on the little pre-production we did, I could kind of see what kind of shit Gary is on today. I just feel like the more time you have in your hand, the more obscure your thoughts become. We just got to get you out of the house, boy. That's it.
We'll let the people figure that out.
And yo, you are racist. We'll get to it. We'll get to everything in a second, and you people will understand more of what I'm saying in a second.
Okay. What are we starting with?
What we starting with? We are starting with, I guess, the song that's currently #1 that helped Drake break the record now for most consecutive weeks on Billboard.
#1 hits, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's the #1 hit right now. Top of the Hot 100 chart. It's the Nokia song, you know.
Nokia.
What's so funny about this song, even though it's a Party Next Door album, it seems like the two main songs that people are talking about are like the standalone tracks that Drake is the only person on.
Of course.
If you talk about Give Me a Hug, that was the initial thing that had everybody in a frenzy. And then Nokia, now the dance, the bop. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Drake just found a clever way to insert himself back into the conversation.
Oh, every time. It's like a skill at this point.
Main character energy, I guess.
Like him and the Kardashians for somehow, some way, always on a headline.
But yeah, so the video came out, and a lot of the TikTok lawyers, the think pieces, the IG connoisseurs,
IG lawyers,
everybody that like to analyze and overlook into little shit that these artists do had an opinion. I remember back in the day when we just enjoy a music video. Oh shit, you know, the outfits are cool, the dance moves are cool, the graphics are cool, you know. But now, since the beef, it's like Kendrick cough, and they tell you the significance of the cough. Drake wear a jacket, and they tie it up to the beef and say he's wearing this jacket because that's where Kendrick went to school. It's like we can't escape the analytical niggas on social media. But the video came out, and there's a lot of similarities from some of the work that Kendrick has done in the past, right? Yeah. When it comes to visuals, some people are saying like Drake is trolling Kendrick because he's the petty king. Some people are saying it's a spoof. Some people are saying Drake was overall being creative, minding his own business, and having some fun during this spring break. Yeah. So where do you land? Because there's a lot of conspiracies. There's a lot of think pieces. There's a lot of a conversation out there surrounding the Nokia video. I'm assuming you watched it.
Yeah.
Well, how you feel about it?
Well, first, one, I would say I love the Nokia song. Like, 100% that song's getting played at my wedding. Everyone's shaking ass to that to that song for sure.
I approve this message.
So, like, I want to say I do like the song. It's definitely one of the best songs on the album. Now, when I hear the song, it kind of, like, even just the beat alone, it kind of reminds me of like a 2000s Kanye-esque type beat as well. Like, which is really cool. You can, like, it's very easy to dance to, and even if you have it in the background, it's like, you know for sure, oh, that's Nokia for sure. It's like one of those records. And then and as I'm like listening to the song, I'm like, it's kind of like it's a little like flamboyant. It's like it's meant to have a good time for sure. Like, it's hard to like stand still when that song is on.
You could tell the focus too was the beat and for you to dance and have a good time.
Like, and very memorable lyrics too. Like, how many hoes in this club? Like, is it just you and me, my love? It's like, it's very like catchy, like bars that you could put on a caption or sing out loud in a club. But as I'm hearing like this song, and I heard there's a video coming out, I'm hoping it's like, oh, hopefully like we kind of get like some form of like goofy Drake, which is kind of like songs like Way Too Sexy, those music videos, or like what's the
one he did with the Migos?
Yeah, like walk it like
I talk it. Oh, the one he did with Yachty with the Oprah bank account.
Exactly, yeah. Kind of like a goofy-esque type video. But like when I'm watching the video, I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's like this video seems too cool for me. For like how this song is, I just think that Drake just looks like that guy that's throwing a lit party, but like he looks like the host that's not having a good time. That's just how I viewed it.
I did get that feeling too, but I don't know. Drake been rich for a long time.
Exactly.
So
he looks over it.
I think what is regular for him, because imagine how many parties Drake has been to, how many parties he's hosted. And it's like, I think at that level, it's like, if Drake really want to have fun, there's going to be some bitches that he want to fuck there. It's going to be some coke somewhere. There's going to be some of his hooligan friends, some of his street friends in there. So I feel like this was a cookie cutter, let's party outside song, but made for TV, for public consumption. Because Drake can't really show you how he get down and have fun. Like some of the friends that Drake have and people he's associated with, if he really show you his day-to-day, I think he would get in a lot more trouble than he's in.
I think the only time I could say we really truly saw how Drake quote unquote like parties or have a good time or when he's excited is like when like the Toronto Raptors won the chip.
True.
That nigga was sweating, freaking like eyes everywhere, and I'm like, oh, I've seen that look before.
Or when he was hanging with LeBron. You know, that Miami era, the parties in LA and the party house he bought for his friends. That's the Drake, I think, you know, that's out there. But I like it.
I would say, too, is like just the whole vibe. I'm like looking at Drake, like watching like the video. He kind of gives off that like that energy where it's like, hey, I didn't really want to do this, but the label said this is kind of a big deal, so just do a music video. Yeah. That's just literally, it's like he literally just here so he don't get fined. Yeah. That's all it looks like.
He showed up and did it.
Like, this is the song that's gonna break a record. You have to at least put out something that's gonna stand the test of time. And it's like, I guess.
I mean, I liked it. You know, again, to not sound like we dick riding Drake, because again, I know how you young kids think. We talk about somebody for 2 minutes, we glazing. But I think it's good to listen to the people. And listen to your fans. I think Drake lost track of that, you know, by being the cool, tough guy that is chasing the numbers. So now I feel like he's going back to catering to my demographic of people, you know, my female, you know, fans and the people that just want to have a good time. And I think it was cool for the visual. Although I am gonna agree that there's some. I felt like he was trolling Kendrick.
Oh, for sure.
He was trolling the Super Bowl performance.
Yeah.
He was trolling some of the videos that Kendrick put out, and I liked it. I'm gonna be honest. I like it because sometimes I think Drake was making fun of how deep we look into every little thing Kendrick does. Yeah. And he's like, no, he's just looking at the door. There's no deep meaning behind it. I could do the same thing, guys. Look. Hey, Kendrick walk? I could walk too. Kendrick did a little two-step. It was nothing special. I could do it too. So I think it was like, playful banter. Like I thought it was refreshing.
Can I say something? One thing that's worrying me about Drake right now is that like an era I didn't really care for, even though the album was cool, but like the Scorpion album, where it's like I felt like the whole Scorpion album was like a Pusha T like diss album, which is like, all right, bro, like we get it, the beef passed, you're not going to drop the record, fine, let's just move on. My only thing is like with like this video and like the back and forth between him and Kendrick, I just feel like it's not going anywhere no time soon, and I'm like, bro, all right, I understand like Drake is like way too big of a figure to acknowledge, hey, I lost, quote unquote, but it's like I just don't want to see like, hey, hidden messages here. This could be a possible Kendrick diss. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed of it already. That's
I agree, but he's kind of in a position where he can't really not address it. You get what I'm saying? Drake can't be the bigger person because it's about you. Like, if he doesn't say anything, he's taking the pussy way out. If he addresses it, oh, you lost the battle, shut the fuck up. He has to kind of play into it and be petty and be like, hey, guys, I'm still rich. I'm still okay. My music is still selling. I'm still on top of all the charts. I still got my own private jet. Like, guys, I'm okay. It's okay. I think he has to, like, I feel like he has to show face. Yeah. He has to show the people he's not depressed. He's not letting the battle get into his head. And I think you need that. I think people want to see the stars outside. It's summertime, almost summertime. But yeah, I mean, I think that's enough of Drake and Nokia talk. Deep but I enjoy the song. Hear it outside. Hear it, on some loudspeakers and just have fun. Not everything has to be deep. You don't have to tie it back to Kendrick. Just listen to a song, enjoy it with your friends, drinking, having fun, and just be safe.
Exactly.
That's it.
You might hear the song actually play in Palm Beach in probably, 4 years?
Nah, I've heard it outside. You have your own personal gripe with DJs, and it's trauma. By the way, I know it's. You know why it's trauma? Because your dad is a DJ. I think you have some deep rooted trauma against DJs, but that's a conversation for another day. On a little bit of sad news, not to get morbid on you guys, super quick. Young Scooter, a beloved rapper from Atlanta. Somebody that make hustler music, as you guys call it, street music.
Part of Free Bands, Close to Future.
Close to Future, one of Future's best friends. He sadly passed away. Now, I'm going to let you lead with this one because Gary, I feel like Gary is the 65-year-old man that sits in front of the TV that listens and believes everything that the news said. I'm the guy that's like, no, that don't sound right. That's not how regular people move. I'm the over-analytical friend. And I think Gary's like, bro, it happened. Let's just move on. So me and Gary had a huge debate on what actually happened to Young Scooter. I'm going to let Gary break it down to tell you how he got to his perspective, and I'll let you guys know what I think really happened. Floor is yours.
I don't like how you gave me the floor, but okay.
Floor is yours.
Anyway, let me try to clean up a little bit. So, yes, as you said, that Young Scooter tragically passed away, and apparently and allegedly was stated by the Atlanta police that it was alleged that Young Scooter police was called to a scene in a house not in the best neighborhood. Some would say it in the black community. A trap house, allegedly.
That's racist.
Just allegedly.
And that's profiling.
Just allegedly, just saying because, because Young Scooter has it in his music, in multiple songs,
music is art,
multiple albums, that he traps out of a trap house.
Music is art and subjective.
And music is art and subjective.
And rap is about storytelling. Carry on.
Yes, even if the story was 2 years ago, it's still storytelling. But so apparently that like there was like a woman, she allegedly made like a fake or phony 911 call, and apparently this like the area where like young Scooter was, there's been like a lot of 911 calls to be brought to that actual location for multiple reasons. It's like either it's like disturbing the peace, like it's loud, or it's like they can see some somewhat weird or what it seems like to be like illegal activity, apparently.
Okay.
So there's a woman, she called the police, and police go over there, and what the story says, what the news said, what it says in all the articles, that like young Scooter, what first came out, it says that, he was in a shootout with the police.
Yes. Didn't
say what the reason, just says, hey, he was in a shootout with the police, and he was actually killed by a police officer or whatever. Then as the night goes on, literally in about a couple hours, it says that like, hey, young Scooter was actually seen leaving the house, and he was like running and jumped over a fence, and then I don't know if the fence had barbed wire or anything, but apparently like he cut his like leg like hopping over the fence, and I guess it like went into like an artery. And if you guys don't know, like, yes, if you actually like fuck up a piece of your leg, you could die very quickly. You can lose a lot of blood very quickly. Very possible. Now, that's what the story that everyone's like, all right, this is the real story. And then you have some rappers, some people in Atlanta say, oh, that ain't right, that ain't right. And then you have Young Thug, which is on probation, make a statement, say, oh, like the streets gonna do something, this and that. He said alleged, like where it's like the streets know what really happened, apparently. Now, if you really want my take on this, is like, I'm not saying that like young Scooter deserved to die or anything, because like unfortunately he did pass away.
That was not your original take, but okay.
It's not what I said. So, and by the way, the phone call apparently ended up being like a phony phone call. Nothing was happening at the house, even though it's like a obscure scene at this house. The woman was apparently taken into custody because she literally called the police for no reason. Now, my main issue with people, black people, anybody who's like reading all these headlines, and I understand like a lot of y'all love to put your tinfoil hat on, what reason does the police or the government have to make a statement out there and say that, oh, young Scooter like died? Why do they have to like lie about that? I understand like there could be like I know Atlanta's kind of like a hot state right now. There's a lot of RICOs going on, and I know anything with police brutality can like literally set up a bunch of like protests and everything. I completely understand all of it. But like when I'm seeing everybody on Twitter, TikTok trying to do a deep dive on like, oh, this will really happen to young Scooter. I'm not saying young Scooter isn't important or anything. All I'm saying is like, yo, fam, you know what was put out could actually like really happen. Like this just reminds me of like a lot of people that said, oh, they really cloned Gucci, they cloned Kodak, and I'm like, that's just like the type of energy that I was seeing behind like the results of young Scooter's passing.
Okay, I receive that, and I'm gonna try to be precise with what I'm saying, but again, one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite broadcasters is, I have eyes and a brain, right? First of all, let me start with this.
He put the phone down.
APD, you guys are full of shit. And I'm saying this in the nicest way possible, the friendliest way possible, because I have friends that are cops, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm also aware, watching shows and knowing police officers in real life, I know sometimes the government and the police force cover how things really happen to not incite public, what's the word I'm looking for? To cite public uproar, okay? Mm-hmm. So my thing is, young Scooter passed away on his birthday. Now, I'm a man, Gary. You a man. Mm-hmm. What do a multimillionaire... black young, what's a young black multimillionaire wants to do on his birthday?
Party,
have fun, maybe go fuck a bitch, travel the world,
have dinner. Yeah,
I just don't picture young Scooter saying, you know what, today's my birthday, let me go move a pack. Let me go celebrate in the hood. So again, for whatever reason he was in that house, I don't know if he has friends in the hood. I don't know if he was visiting family in the hood. Because again, it's his birthday. He could have went to fucking see his grandma for all I care about, right? Mm-hmm. But to me, the initial story, it was all calculated, and it was all to just, I guess, stop people from inciting violence, right? Yeah. So at first, they said, young Scooter was in a shootout with the police. I'm like, whoa. That sounds very like, it doesn't, again, I don't know young Scooter in real life, but it didn't seem believable, right? Exactly. And for somebody like young Scooter, and again, no disrespect, young Scooter is not Andre 3000. Young Scooter is not Future. Young Scooter is not Lil Baby. So it's like, for the level of rapper he is, for the cops to come out 2 hours later and have a whole press conference and give us the phony story on how he passed away, I just thought that was very fishy, right? Mm-hmm. First of all, they said, first of all, we had nothing to do, with the death of young Scooter. Okay. We got a phone call, we showed up, and, 2 men left running from the back of the house, and apparently he jumped the fence, hit his leg, an artery got hit, and he bled to death. That's the story that they said, right? Mm-hmm. My questions, as a sane human being with a brain, is, okay, you guys responded to a 911 call. Fine. I'm cool with that. After the incident happened, you guys did not want to release the name of the person that was in that house. You guys did not want to confirm his identity at first. And I kind of feel like rappers in Atlanta are being targeted because since that Young Thug shit, since Young Thug got away, I feel like the DA office wants, they're out for blood. They're targeting Lil Baby. They're targeting every rapper with a clique in Atlanta. They're following him. They're telling him. They're trying to find a weak link in their crew, anything to take a rapper down. Mm-hmm. I just felt like that's what they was on. And I would not be surprised if they targeted Scooter and followed him, or, they got an anonymous tip, this and that. I just, again, as a person that was in the street trying to evade the police, young Scooter was 39. I'm pretty sure that was not his first time running away from the cops. You telling me this man don't know how to jump a fence? You telling me, like, young Scooter hasn't been arrested, as far as I know, any time of recent. I don't know if he's involved in any RICOs or anything, but it's kind of odd, like, why would Scooter be running away if he doesn't have an active warrant, if there was no drugs in the house? Because the cops didn't say anything. They didn't say they found drugs. They didn't say they found anything that relates to prostitution or anything illegal. They said they showed up, and then 2 men started running. It makes no sense. If you didn't catch me doing anything illegal, why would I be running? So, again, the story did not make sense. It was not adding up. I personally think he was trying to get away. The cops did what they had to do, which I don't agree with. And I think they kind of give the leg story and, hey, he bled to death as an excuse to not incite violence in the city. Because, again, a beloved rapper in the community that died, if the community find out that it's in the hands of the police, there might be some horrific news following that week. Again, these cops work in the communities. They serve the people. I think to keep the peace, they went with a different story. That's my version of it. Again, I just, to me, how quick, again, I'm saying this based on how quick they came out and released that report. Because I don't think young Scooter is that important to I don't think he's a big enough name for them to go to that length. Yes. Because most rappers get a TMZ post, or they get a post on the Shade Room. This person passed away. But because in the conditions that young Scooter died, the fact that the cops went out of their way to have that press conference to define and to clarify that they had nothing to do with the killing, it's just the story was not making sense. Again, I don't like, if that man was not doing anything illegal, I just don't like in the manner in which he died. I'm not saying he's not a drug dealer. I'm not saying he doesn't commit crimes. I'm not saying he's a good person. It's just, again, your job is to protect and to serve, not to kill. That's my only take. But Gary over here, Gary was like, well, it seemed like he was at a trap house, and why is he running? oh, it's kind of adding up. And it's like, I'm like, no, Gary, it still doesn't make it right.
Well,
and
what
we
I
had
was
this
saying,
big argument.
What I was saying is, and I don't want you to put words in my mouth.
I'm repeating what you said.
You're repeating words, but not in the right order. So what I mean is that, like, with Young Scooter, we black.
Yes.
We black.
As far as I know.
As far as I know, we black. If you making millions of dollars.
Yes.
I understand that, like, you love the hood, this and that, you love the hood, whatever. And now, if you see a rapper, a street rapper, that's been saying on records for a decade, I push this, I sell this, I kill this, I do this, I spend this.
Okay.
For a decade straight. And then you see that rapper, I'm not saying I'm not trying to profile him or not, but you see that rapper in kind of a house that looks somewhat abandoned, and you know for sure you have over 1 million followers, have a couple of $1 million in your pocket, and for some reason police are going to be like, why is he there? Even though he just was on the album Trap House 3, that kind of looks like the house that's on the cover. And I'm not saying this is how it happens, but it's like, if I can think that, I'm pretty sure a white man with a badge is thinking worse.
Bro, be that as it may, I just feel like it doesn't make it right. Again,
I'm not saying it makes it right.
The how fast APD went and did that press conference to quote unquote clarify that they had nothing to do with the murder of I'm just saying the murder because I feel like it was a murder with the murder of Young Scooter. I just
with the
didn't
death
believe.
of Young Scooter. You can't just
just
scream
dog.
out.
I'm a street nigga that's used to probably running from the cops, knowing how to evade police, have done crimes. I'm pretty sure they could jump a fence. That's all I'm saying. Again, to me, I'm just not gonna believe everything they tell me on the news. Because they said Kennedy, he just, some random lady shot him. You know, they said Martin Luther King was accidentally killed. And then years later, we finding fucking classified paperwork that it was an inside job. The CIA was involved. The FBI was involved. So,
but you see where you're getting at? Like Martin Luther King,
Malcolm X. I'm just saying, it's just to be.
JFK. No disrespect, Young Scooter.
The story was a little fishy. Again, that's me. Maybe I'm reading into it too deep.
A little bit.
To me, like if Cheech don't like the water, he doesn't know how to swim, and they say, Cheech was found dead in the pool, you would not have any questions?
Yes, I'll have questions. But like, if I'm being 100% honest, if you're in Atlanta and you're a public figure, you have over 1 million followers. If something happened to you and the police know, quote unquote, that they didn't do that, that's not how it happens. Yes, there's gonna be a press conference, 100%.
Yeah, but you know what I also know? Atlanta is like the black Mecca right now. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of tensions, I feel like, between rappers and Atlanta police right now, because the police is trying to put a RICO on every clique in Atlanta. So with that tension already existing, and a beloved figure in the rap community passes away with the police's involvement, I could see a world, again, I don't think it's far-fetched that the police are going to go and butter up the story to not cause, to not incite public violence. Because I really feel like, to me, it's like a cop doing something to Jay-Z in Brooklyn. People are gonna be upset.
I understand, but like no disrespect. You mentioned Jay-Z and Young Scooter are different people.
I think you comparing the personality.
I didn't bring them up. You're bringing up these names.
All I'm saying is Young Scooter is beloved. Yes. And he's from the hood, and I don't think it would have been a good look for the cops to say they had something to do with him dying in his community, because I feel like that would have put some of their lives at stake. That's all I'm saying. Can you see a world where they could lie about that to keep the peace in the community?
Yes, I can see a world. But my problem is with you and a lot of other people on social media, you guys are turning this Young Scooter death into a conspiracy theory. Now, transitioning to like one of the next topics, what Gary considers as a conspiracy theory, when people bring up, what happened to JFK? How did Malcolm X really die? How were the pyramids made? These are real deal, like the Epstein list. These are actual, I don't want to justify what's a conspiracy or not, but these are actually conspiracies where it's like, Oh, I can understand why there's a conspiracy.
Yeah, but you know how a conspiracy is birthed, right? So the government or the police, somebody is going to come out with a story that's like far-fetched or not really believable. And then people like me are going to think and be like, that doesn't make sense. Again, to me, I think shit start off fishy. And then niggas look too deep inside of it. The noise become high. And then they come out and be like, well, we didn't want to tell you guys because we thought you guys were not in a position to handle this information. Again, I feel like the government does things for the greater good, they like to call it, to protect millions. So if they can salvage one person's death to quote unquote preserve the life of millions, I think that's the type of time they own. That's me.
Can we transition to like another conspiracy, quote unquote?
Sure. Let's do it.
There has been multiple conspiracy theories that's been going on throughout the week. One you got, like, I can't really say his name on YouTube, but HIT, you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
There's been rumors or speculations that he possibly didn't off himself. There's a possibility he moved to like Argentina and lived a full life, quote unquote. That was one conspiracy. And then now one of the biggest headlines of the week that everyone's been talking about is these scientists that created a whole lab. Apparently they're the world's first de-extinction of like species group, apparently. They created the dire wolf. Now, I'm not no animal fanatic. I'm not too big on like species of what's this, the canine this. I don't know. I'm just little old Gary that just watches entertainment. But seeing this come across my timeline saying that apparently that a group of men
a group of white men
got a bunch of funding from very rich people to make these wolves, even though they were never requested by anybody. A wolf species that's over 12,000 years old. So apparently they've been gathering up some DNA from like a tooth, some skulls that's over 10,000, 12,000 years old. And apparently they use AI to create this species again. And it worked. They created about like 3 pups that's getting bigger and bigger. Now, using Gary's brain, this is what it says on the headline. You know what Gary saw? Oh, does this mean you guys found out a way to clone? Is this a possible way that you figured out how to probably bring somebody back from the dead?
Okay, those are.
Is this another conspiracy that's been going across my mind? Oh, can we bring dinosaurs back? Does it stop here? Because even like and I think the guy was telling on himself because he went on Joe Rogan, ironically, literally the day after the story broke out. Apparently, the original plan was to bring back the woolly mammoth, which is like pretty much like one of the biggest like elephants in the world, whatever. That was the initial species. So where the hell did this dire wolf come from? I'm just saying this before I let you go. Is just that, like you said, you see a headline, I'm like, oh, that's what happened. But what is the real mission behind this?
Yes. You know. So I don't believe in the Illuminati or anything like that, but I know there's groups of families and a group of rich people, you know, that have controlled some of the world's decisions or behind politicians that give funding to some of the world leaders to do certain things. Are these people always good and good for the world and good for the planet? No. Some of them are nice, some of them are evil. You get what I'm saying? You know, everybody can't be perfect. But I do believe there's a group of people that are super rich that sit somewhere in a room bored, and they just like to fuck with the natural order of how things are. I don't think they're necessarily Christians. I don't think they understand, like, when they say something goes extinct, right? I'm thinking the world changed. Maybe the food source for that animal or that species is no longer available, or because of the climate, you know, maybe, you know, this species, you know, like to live in the cold, and where they were known to be from is hot now, you know, because climate change has affected how, you know, species, who lives, who dies, and it's been one of the determining factors of, you know, adaptation, pretty much, right? And I'm not an expert. I was in regular science classes just like you guys, right? My problem with eager, rich white people that are bored and that are ultra rich.
Hey, don't forget about them Saudis now.
You guys gotta find better ways to help the world. And I say this in the nicest way possible because, like, even us digging, these tombs for the mummies, like these people had families at some point. These people are resting in peace. These people probably died from diseases that were incurable. Like, we see a tomb, we like, ooh, maybe it's a king, maybe it's an ancient leader. Like, why can't we leave things the way they are? If I see a mummy wrapped up in a tomb underground and it's been there for 400 years, my natural brain
400,000 years, maybe.
is not, hey, let me go and wrap the mummy to go study it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, to see where the world is going, sometimes we can study the fossils from back in the day. I just think you could do that. You could just, get permission from certain families, or just study like people that died a few, hundreds of years ago or a couple decades ago to do that. I just don't like to fuck with the natural progression of things. I just think things are left in the history books for a reason. These animals died and they didn't survive for a reason. Maybe they were bad for the environment. Maybe they were killing people. Maybe they were eating people. Maybe they were hunting people. We don't know. Let's just be normal. Like, it's cool to be normal. Go buy a yacht.
You know what's my problem with rich people? Like, y'all rich people, y'all don't know how to mind y'all business. You make so much money is that you started to just twinkle in everyone's business.
I think they start playing God. Like, why are we recreating species? Because now you have to create a food source now. Now you have to figure out what they eat. If what they eat is not there, you have to create something for them to eat. It's
not gonna stop.
And you don't know if you can control this thing. Because, again, we like to fuck with technology, but I don't think we're ready for when the technology fuck with us back. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah. I just, again, I'm big on us learning and embracing the future, embracing AI. I don't want to sound like the old grumpy guy that's like, oh, let's just go with the flow and what's here is what's to say. No, I'm big on technological advances. That's cool. I just think we need to do certain things in moderation, and I think we just need to use common sense. And we need more black people in these labs to kind of have questions. Because why are we creating wolves?
Hey, man, I'm starting to believe.
Why are we not using that money to go feed some kids in Africa? Why are we not helping the poor countries? Why are we not solving world hunger? Why are we not solving poverty? Why are we not building houses for the homeless people? There's a fucking homeless epidemic right here in California. People are sleeping outside in tents.
California, here in Florida, here in Palm Beach.
Why are we creating wolves or wasting money going on space sometimes for a trip instead of helping people like live a better life and create a better society? I just don't get it.
You know, one question that like I immediately thought of is like, why the dire wolf if it's a species that's 12,000 years old? Don't you realize when we were like in grade school, like when you like learned about animals and stuff, don't you realize that like the animal they always told us growing up that's like literally like going extinct the fastest is like the rhinos? Like, so why don't you bring back more rhinos? Why aren't there some bears that are going extinct? There's literally some animals that's like less than like 100 like left like in the world. Why don't you make more of that? Why did you have to go back 12,000 years of a species?
How about we build a greener world so animals don't even go extinct? How about we build more natural habitats for these animals? How about we preserve what we got and control what we can control? To me, it's like sometimes, bro, when you fuck with the past, like, again, there's a lot of diseases that, died with people, like leprosy. You get what I'm saying? Smallpox. Like, there's certain epidemics that we had in certain parts of the world that killed millions of people. Again, when we digging up these bodies, we don't know what we're exposing to the air. Like, there was 20 different variants of COVID, and fucking millions of people died because of it. Like, why we keep fucking with nature? Why?
I don't understand. Y'all playing with God's work, and trust me. And God, when God responds,
when technology respond, when AI respond, I just feel like we just Like the fuck, like it's good to be curious. It's good to study. It's good to have a creative mind. It's good to be insightful. It's good to ask questions. It's good to do research. But I feel like sometimes we go too far. And I'm just not with playing God, recreating species, recreating humans, trying to make humans, trying to create artificial hearts. Like, bro.
Can I say one last thing? I'm not even going to go too deep into it because I'll be considered me talking too much. We brought back the dire wolves.
Yes.
You're bringing back different species. I'm seeing a lot of cures for everything. There's no cure for cancer still.
There's no cure for AIDS.
I'm just leaving it like that.
Oh, and the last thing, since we like to go back so much, how about we go back to the older rent prices? How about we make houses affordable again? Since we like to go back in time,
make Chipotle $6 again.
Yes, y'all want to change shit? Change that. That's my thing, bro. But again, like I said, I'm cool. I'm not a grumpy guy that's not embracing technological advances. It's just let's stop playing God. That's my only thing. That's my only thing.
What's next on the docket? Which one
we have to talk about Marvin Sapp. We have to. Yeah. You know, I feel like it's my duty as a black person and as an avid churchgoer to discuss it. So there's a video that went viral on the internet of Marvin Sapp seemingly being inside of a church, you know, doing what I'm not saying black pastors, doing what churches do, which is they have offerings. You get what I'm saying? There's a part of the service where people, you know, give money, help out the church, you know, pay their tithes and stuff like that.
Some churches, multiple offerings.
All right. All right. So apparently the video came out of Marvin Sapp got accused. Marvin Sapp, if you don't know who he is, he's a preacher.
It's on video.
He's a preacher. He's a well-known gospel, you know, popular gospel singer. Very successful in his own right, by the way.
Yes.
But yeah, there's a video that came out of him at a conference or at a church asking the ushers to lock the doors. Not lock. Close the doors. You know, because he wanted to raise $40,000, right? You know, there's already a stigma on black churches always raising money for a cause. The video did not paint Marvin Sapp in the best of lights. You know, they tried to throw a kidnapping charge on him, saying he was trapping the people. He was coercing the people to give money. He was forcing people to give out money. But to his defense, he uploaded a video days later saying he went to a conference. There's a lot of people from different churches, and they were raising money for a good cause. And, you know, again, the tone he used in the video and how it came across my feed, and with the stigma on black churches and black pastors, you know, it kind of was distasteful at first. But again, I didn't see nothing wrong with it. Again, maybe I'm just used to just churches doing this, but I did not see anything wrong with it. And he said again, close the doors, not lock the doors. So people could have got up and left. And again, he was trying to raise money for a good cause, for a godly cause. So everybody has a cause nowadays, whether his cause was personal, business, or for the church. That's for him to just have with the Lord. But it was hilarious. I laughed my ass off. I enjoyed the moment. I enjoyed the meme. What was your initial reaction, and what is your thoughts on this matter?
You know what's funny? I saw memes before I saw the actual video. I'm like, where is this coming from? So, like, I watched the video now, and I'm like, at first, I'm like...
It was in poor taste. I will say that.
It was a little bit of poor taste because, like, I'm sorry. You can't... I'm not saying he held people hostage, but it's like you can't demand money from people in the church. You can't go around saying, oh, I know there's $1,000 over here. There's people watching over here. Sir, this is a church, not a bidding war. This is not an auction. Literally, I forgot the saying. Oh my parents are gonna kill me, but there's a saying where it's like basically in a church, like you can't really like rush, like you can't force people to give.
Yeah, they have to give at their own free will.
Yes.
You know, and they have to be inspired to give based on, you know, what God has done in their life. They have to be willing to give.
You know? I understand, and I know, like, I want to put this out there. I identify as a Christian. I was Christian when I was a baby. I want to put that out there.
Look at you. Look at you pacifying the bullshit you about to say.
But fam, you know how I feel about rich pastors and mega churches. Like I'm saying is like,
how do you feel about rich pastors and mega churches?
All I'm saying is, bro, is like, I'm not gonna call out any pastors. Y'all know who they are. They get talked about every day on TikTok. My personal opinion is, I think it's weird that you were like, not saying Marvin Sapp in general. I'm saying I think it's weird that there's like a lot of like a rich pastor, because like you're pretty much like selling God's word to get money. That's just how it comes off sometimes. Not saying how it is, but it can come off like that. Like I know, like when I was going to a specific church when I was younger. I'm not gonna say which one, but I remember I'm sitting down and I'm like, they had multiple offerings. And this church, this is the first time I even knew what a QR code was, because scan this QR code if you want to send money to the church. I'm like,
some churches got apps.
Some churches got apps. And then like I remember my dad was so upset he like left, because like apparently there's like he said, hey, pastor needs a new car, and like can everybody please just like pass the offering to say we can put some money down so pastor can get a new car. People were writing checks and giving money, this and that, and I'm like, So like it's in some way, shape, or form, and I know people are not gonna like when I say this, but every church there has to be some form of business regardless. Because
a church is a business.
Because like at the end of the day, you come into this church, there's bathrooms, there's AC, there's chairs, lights, there's ushers, there's people directing traffic. All of this costs money at the end of the day, so we get it. So we're not saying that, hey, all churches is literally just like robbing people. Just robbing people. They just throw all this money in like a room and just go into like people on their vacations. No, that's not how it goes, because literally it costs money to run a church.
Yes.
Now I'm saying that there's some churches that kind of like ask too much sometimes, just for like this example. But Marvin Sapp, you can't just literally tell people, you're like, oh, I know you got this, I know you got that, you can do this, we leave on $40,000 today, and it's like, I know the Lord, and when you ask for something, you can't say the Lord want this. No, nigga, you want this.
I mean, I guess to wrap this up, I do understand that the church is not there to fund its, obviously the church need money to run, just like you said. The church has a light bill and shit like that. Exactly. The bathroom has to be stocked.
Yeah, permits
stuff
to
like
pay
that.
For it.
Yes, but to me, I just feel like we have to find more friendly ways to speak. I think pastors have to find a more empathetic and more, I guess, a nice. I'm not even gonna say nice. Just a different way to inspire people to give.
Just pass the ball around.
Yeah, I just feel like people are gonna give based on what they how they have it in their heart to give. I mean, people like me, if I said I was gonna just give $25, there's nothing that could make me give more, unless somebody in the church is dying, somebody is about to have a surgery, and there's a cause that really speak to my heart. I just feel like just do your job, inspire the people, give the word of God. If somebody is inspired to do something in the church, because people got eyes. If the church got old chairs, obviously we need new chairs. If there's too many people here, we need a new building. I think some pastors, I do feel like they're greedy, because it's like, bro, you already have a building, but you want a bigger building, and you don't want just one church. You want a congregation now, and it's like, bro, if God send you to lead people to Him, I feel like you could do it in a room at your house. You could do it in the backyard. You could do it anywhere, because technically the Bible says when groups of believers get together, that's the church. You get what I'm saying? Like, we form the church. So whether we praising the Lord on the river, at the pool, on the beach, in the backyard, that's what the church is. Like, all that fancy shit, I just feel like that's just people just trying to rob people broad daylight.
Hey, one word.
And I don't agree with all of it. I'm not saying that's what Marvin Sapp was trying to do.
Well, I'm gonna say something. Marvin Sapp, if I had to give you any form of advice, just do what a lot of the black mega churches do. When you ask for money, make sure the choir is singing at least. You can't ask.
Or you have a successful music career, nigga. Give the church some of your royalties. Take $40,000 out your own fucking pocket.
You can't ask me for $1,000 and be dead silent, bro. You can't. Play some music at least.
Give you some type of inspiration to give. I didn't even hear the organ play a note. You know? I didn't hear you sing. I didn't hear you use your. I didn't hear the pain in your voice.
All I heard was the doors closing.
Yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, the church got to do better, man. Not the church. These greedy pastors. Again, I can't wait for Judgment Day, cause you humans down here has gotten away with a lot of bullshit. There's pastors driving Rolls Royces. I be sitting you some pastors with designer on preaching. It's like, man. I don't know. I feel like sometimes, like I said in our last episode, sometimes we mean to inspire, but sometimes we have the adverse effect because we're making people feel less than. Like, you know.
That's right.
That's it.
I know, like, time is running out, but I just have to say, yo, Nuggets, you fucked up. I don't know why you fired Mike Malone, but come on, bro. A week before the playoffs, you out of pocket. Just saying. And possibly Nikola Jokic to the Lakers. We'll see.
Yeah, that's a reach. But okay. I mean, damn, we had a lot of NBA talk we didn't get to. It's fine. We'll definitely catch you guys in the next episode. But this, I like this conversation, man. We've been talking about this shit all week, but I mean, some of this shit had to be said in front of a camera. But anyway, again, thank you guys for the continued support. The TikTok is growing, the YouTube is growing. You guys are interacting. I'm seeing more comments under the videos. Yeah, I mean, we're regular guys. We're very approachable people. We're nice people. The only difference between us and you is we probably have a platform to talk about some of the things we think about. So, yeah, man, we do this show for y'all entertainment. Keep interacting, keep supporting, and we'll just have more content to you. That's it. We can't do nothing without your support. So
yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and if you're watching this, please watch in 1080p for the love of God.
Yeah, for sure.
We pay good money. I don't want to see me in 480p.
They been killing me, man. They been killing me with the Playboy Cardi video.
Look at this unk.
Clearly, this guy didn't listen to the album. How old is this kid? Well, why do we care? That's your fucking opinion. Shut the fuck up. I love it all. It doesn't. I know you guys think you get under my skin. Like I enjoyed everything, the good, the bad, the ugly that come with this shit. But yeah, I go by the name of Cheech, aka ladies' favorite broadcaster, Mr. Consistency. Yeah, man, I'm happy to be here, Mr. Happy to be here, happy to be alive.
And I go by the name of Gary, a.k.a. In Gary We Trust, a.k.a. Mr. Sneaker Convo, a.k.a. if we split in the bill and you leaving, close the doors.
Yeah, man. A.k.a. Mr. Cheech is my stylist, man.
Stop it, man. Now it's definitely time to go home. And what are we, man?
All right, man. These are the aesthetics, and we'll catch you guys
next time
soon, man. All right, peace.